What's up, everyone? This is Red Dragon. I'm out here today having fun in the garage again, just making some stuff. And today I'm going to talk about the TMS Military wood stove here for a minute. When I first saw this thing, I thought this thing was amazing. It's like mind blown. Because in Arizona, you can have a contained fire. It does have legs. I didn't break out the legs or anything else here. It's got like a 5 to 7 foot smokestack that goes up. It's got legs that come out. They're about 18 inches long, each leg. It's cool. It's got the front damper area, the door, a place to kind of set the wood. It comes with a poker and a thing to shove the ashes back or to clean it. There's the air hole in back, and then it's got a bottom air hole / area to clean out the ash. When I saw this thing, it was just like mind blowing because it's it's nice to have a contained fire. I don't want to burn anything else down or burn anything else in the surrounding area. I don't want any brush to get caught on fire. And also, I don't like campfire smoke. Just sitting around the campfire. I don't like to be smoked out. Let me clarify. I don't like to be smoked out by the campfire. So the stack that comes out of here goes up like 5 to 7 feet. And then the smoke doesn't smoke you out. So over here at Red Dragon Enterprises, you guys know that I'm always trying to make everything more efficient. Everything. So I got this wood stove about a month ago. And I got it from Amazon warehouse, which means that it was cheaper because they probably dropped it off a pallet. And the only thing that was wrong with it was 2 cylinders come off out here. And there's a little bracket that goes in this hole. And it was broke. So I can simply have that welded or put some JB weld on it. I don't have those 2 cylinder things out, but if you look up some YouTube videos on the TMS wood stove, there's a ton of them out there. A bunch of modifications guys are doing to these, which is really cool. So I've never had a wood stove. This is my first wood stove. I just thought it was crazy cool for camping. All the legs and the stack and everything fits inside of it. So the entire unit is this big until you break out all the piping and stuff that goes in here. Take all that out and build out the wood stove. So this is as big as it gets. Every single thing fits inside of this wood stove. So that's really cool. We're not going to get smoked out because of the smokestack, which is cool. It's a safer fire. You can use it for cooking or heating. So I mentioned I'd never been around a wood stove in my life. So I looked up some of the YouTube videos and they're really cool. I highly suggest that. Look up some YouTube videos about the TMS wood stove modification. So I got to thinking and doing some research and development about kind of how to make this more efficient. And what I'd found was a wood stove heat reclaimer. And I thought that was kind of a bizarre name, although it's an obvious name, heat reclaimer. So I looked into it, and it's like $600 for this heat reclaimer, which is really a piece of pipe, or you can put a box around the piece of pipe that you already have. And the metal box has essentially like a front screen and a back screen on it and a fan. Whether the fan would be electric or like a heat powered fan, like one of my videos, two of my videos, kind of compares and goes over. You could put that in the box. Either way, you need a fan in the box, and then there's some tubes that go through your smokestack that are airtight. So the fan brings in air through the tubes, which are airtight, and the tubes go through your smokestack. So for $500 or $600, this heat reclaimer idea seemed like a cool idea, but way too expensive. And there's nothing else that we could do for the TMS wood stove besides make something. The heat reclaimers that I saw were ungodly expensive compared to what you could make. And some might have been electric. I think it would be cool if you put a heat-powered fan on there. But there are really no solutions here for our 2 3/4 inch opening here. It is 2.75 inches from end to end right here. So, this heat reclaimer idea, now I've got to make one. So what I ended up doing was I bought a 2 3/4 inch, it's about a foot long, 10 inch to a foot long, 2 3/4, 2.75 inch. Oh, it is aluminum. It's actually for a car. It's a 2.75 inch, yeah, inlet for a car for an intake. So I picked that up off Amazon for 20 bucks. And I decided to pick up some of this copper. It is 1/4 inch tubing, 50 feet, for 40 bucks off Amazon. And I'm going to do several things with this copper to make some of my heating systems more efficient. But one of them here was to make a heat reclaimer. So what I have ended up with is right here. This is the heat reclaimer that I've made for the TMS wood stove. And I've never seen a heat reclaimer made for this. I had to do some research and development about the heat reclaimer in the first place, about, you know, full-size wood stoves. And so they didn't make anything for this wood stove, but it's easy enough to make. So I've got the 2.75 inch car intake. It's about 10 to 12 inches long, 20 bucks off Amazon. And I drilled some 1/4 inch holes in it so I could just pull through the 1/4 inch piping or tubing. And the heat reclaimer idea that I did research on, the idea behind that is really simple. The air would go through these openings as cold air. And then the pipe goes through the smokestack and gets heated up by the fire, which is coming up through here. And most of the fire concentrates back here because of the air holes and because of the smokestack right here on the TMS wood stove. So you've got like hot flames coming up through this pipe, and you know, I chose aluminum because it heats up really fast. And one of the only metals that heats up faster is copper. So both of these metals heat up real quick. This 2 3/4 inch pipe, since the whole thing is aluminum, it by itself is acting like a heat reclaimer because it's getting really, really hot. And then I've added the copper tubes that act as air holes. So cold air goes through there, gets heated up, and then comes out this end hot. And it's sucked through the tubes by, I'm using the heat-powered fan, the CX Home fan that I've also posted a video of. Check that out if you want to. And so this heat reclaimer is going to work perfectly for this wood stove, and there's no power required for it. You could use something like this on a full-size wood stove if you want to make it. Just copper tubes. I added a damper here out of a, let's call it a soda can. And so I'm going to use that for the wood stove. That'll keep the heat down there below this point, which is why I put it here. Wanted to put the damper at the top of this so it was actually easy to make. But also, the heat rises up and gets trapped in there and then starts to radiate back down and heats up this area where I want it especially hot to pull in cold air through the pipes, because the fan is sucking the air through the 1/4 inch pipes. And I made the 1/4 inch pipes have as big of openings as I could to suck as much air velocity through them as possible. So, over here at Red Dragon Enterprises, we are making stuff. I forgot to mention, these are intercooler clamps. And the ones I happen to have are too big. This one is too big, this one is too small. These are a lot stronger than normal clamps that you just screw on. So I'll want to use something like this, like an intercooler clamp that is 2.75 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and, this thing is much too hot right now. But I'm going to go ahead and take my heat reclaimer and put it right there as the first smokestack so it gets the hottest. And then I'm going to take my 2.75 inch clamp. I'm going to clamp that metal down tight, airtight. I might end up putting some foil on the inside as lining on the inside of this just to make sure that it's airtight. And then I'll clamp it down so it'll be strong, and then I can put up the rest of the stacks, which will be 5 to 7 feet tall. And then I'm going to put the fan, I'm going to take the fan and put it right there. The fan's going to pull the hot air this way. It's going to heat up my camp really nicely. A lot of radiant heat that's coming up from the fire right here. And the fan is sucking cold air through the tubes, getting super hot, super heated by the fire inside of the tube, especially with the damper closed. So the heat radiates back down into the tubes. And then the fan's going to be here blowing this way, where it's getting all this hot air, this radiant hot air, and pushing it towards my camp. So that is the TMS homemade heat reclaimer. Subscribe to my channel if you like to make things and make things more efficient.